McBath, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And Secretary Cardona, thank you so much for visiting with us once again today. And as much as Republicans want to say otherwise, you are not trying to break the system. Your department really is taking real steps to make it truly work for working families and every American who has been completely left behind by a higher education system that continues to be pay for play. And I'm proud to stand by you and President Biden in our fight to make sure that our higher education system is more equitable, and I'm disappointed by efforts in Congress to roll back all the important and just really popular steps that have been taken by your agency. While every single House Republican recently voted to pass a debt limit bill that reduces the maximum Pell grant by about 15% and cancels the student debt relief that working families in the state that I represent, Georgia, are counting on, House Democrats and Secretary Cardona, you are trying to do just the opposite. Instead of cutting programs like Pell and attempting to decrease the maximum award for the first time in over 30 years, we are trying to expand upon them. Instead of trying to balance the budget on the backs of those who can't afford to go to college, we are taking real steps to even the odds for the hardworking families across the country. And the Pell Grant covers the lowest percentage of the cost of a college education in the history of the program, at just 30% of the estimated cost of a four-year institution's costs. And if it were up to House Republicans, it would cover even less. It would count for even less than that. A college degree or credentials continue to be the surest path to economic security for Americans, and we must do more as a country to make sure that we're ensuring that every student has the resources necessary to follow that path. Now, there are over 122,000 real people in my district in Georgia that qualify for some sort of student debt relief under the President's Debt Forgiveness Program. And that's more than just about any other of the members in this room. And I do know that to be a fact because we checked. These people aren't just numbers. These are the nurses that take care of us when we can't take care of ourselves, and the teachers that you trust to teach your kids and to keep them safe in school. More than 80,000 people in my district who applied for these funds or who were automatically approved are counting on them to come through. And that's what's really the harm here. For the last 50 years, students whose families can't afford to pay for college have relied on Pell to be there for them. And it's alarming to see that every Republican in the House, would go on record supporting cuts to Pell at a time when in this country, already the Pell grant covers the lowest share of the cost of a college education in the history of the program. Their proposal would eliminate Pell for thousands of students in Georgia and cut the maximum award by nearly $1,000 for the 640,000 plus students in my state who still qualify for Pell. Secretary, please take your time. Please expound once again for us as much as you possibly can. No trick questions for you. Mm-hmm. Can you share more about the economic significance of Pell and the negative impact that these cuts would have on working families?
Yeah, thank you for that. Pell helps level the playing field for students so that their participation in higher education is based on their ability, not on their wealth. It opens the doors to students, many times first-generation college students, to not only change their life's trajectory, but also the trajectory of their own children. And as I said earlier, it allows us to really maximize on the talent that we have in our schools. Many times students feel like they're not going to even consider college. I've had experiences where I talk to parents who, as young as elementary school, said that their children cannot go to college because they cannot afford it and they fear the cost. Pell allows students to have access to higher education, to higher earning potential. We know college graduates make on average $1 million more over the course of their life than students who graduate high school and do not go on to. So we're trying to open up access to higher education, whether that's through universal community college, which we know is an economic driver for communities, four-year colleges, which we know provide students pathways to economic stability. We're trying to open doors. Pell does that, especially because it focuses on students who are most financially in need.
Thank
Thank you, and I
you.
yield.